Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode. Tonight we are looking at Nano Dimensions. Nano Dimension today actually took a bit of an increase in price, thank goodness, up by about 8%. We can see today, almost even 9% now. Share price hitting about $1.24, which is good. Again, volume today is actually quite high in comparison to previous days, and this is all good news. There are many reasons for this, and we're going to be talking about some of these in this video. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because we are trying to get more subscribers here on this channel, and each of you is appreciated. So yes, now that I've mentioned that, of course I am not a financial advisor, but we are going to jump quickly into this video. So we have actually covered the fundamentals of Nndm many times before. We talked about the fact that Nndm does have a lot of cash, and this could potentially be used for an acquisition. Now, there's been a lot of hype around the stock recently. People think that they are going to acquire a new company. There are many reasons for this, and again, with the new team of members, which I do have, as I have said in previous videos again, I do believe that they now are in a position where they can do such a thing. Now, this comes after today, where we have seen this big news according to Global Newswire, which does state down here that Nano Dimensions acquired machine learning and deep learning leader DeepCube Limited. So you can see here there is apparently an acquisition from Nndm. This was reported at 9 AM ET Eastern Time, and of course today this was written as well. So if we do have a quick read down here, we can basically understand everything that we need to know. We'll have a quick read of the start bit, which reads, Nndm, which is of course an industry leader in AME products and 3D printed electronics, has today announced that they have actually signed a definitive agreement to acquire DeepCube Limited, also known as DeepCube. You can see the website link here, which we are going to look at in just a moment, but we can see, reading a bit further, it is basically a world leader in machine learning and deep learning, which is also known as ML and DL technology. Nndm will apparently pay the shareholders of DeepCube approximately $40 million in cash and $30 million in American Depository Shares, also known as ADS, of Nano Dimension, which will be subject and still stand in various periods of time up to 3 years after closing the transaction. Such closing is expected the next few days, subject to the satisfaction of customary closing conditions. So there we go. It tells us a lot about what has gone on. This is a big deal, and again, we have been looking for an acquisition from Nano Dimension for the longest time, so to see this information is good, it's fantastic, and again, this is an industry leading company. Now, one thing which I have said about Nndm before this acquisition, and even around the thought of an acquisition, or even without the thought of an acquisition for that matter, I think that Nndm is a solid company from a fundamental standpoint. We all know from the fundamentals video that I did on Saturday, I believe it was, of last week, that the company did actually have a hard year in 2020. Revenue for the business was down massively, but again, they did blame COVID for that, and as I have said, I think that is okay. I think going forwards into 2021, we're going to be looking at a much better year, and I think if that is the case, we could see Nndm's share price actually get back to where it was, around this point just a few months ago, which would be fantastic. Anyway, we can see what DeepCube does down here if we do have a quick read, where it states that DeepCube technology applies numerous patented breakthrough algorithms to improve data analysis and deployment of deep and advanced learning based off artificial intelligence as well. So again, this just tells us a lot about what the company does, and if you do want to, feel free to read this in your own time, but we can see, just to sum things up very simply, this company is a very decent company in my thoughts. So to sum things up, guys, this acquisition is a big deal in my opinion, and it shows that Nndm does have their heads screwed on properly, if you will, because obviously they are taking the steps in the right direction, which are necessary to help build and grow this business into a massive company, which it really does have potential to be in the future. As I said just a few moments ago, even before this acquisition, this company was solid in my eyes, but again, this acquisition does show to me at least that the company is taking multiple steps in the right direction to help grow the business, to help increase revenue, and just to help the business become a better brand overall. So let's take a moment to have a quick read of what DeepCube do and actually have a look at their website. So we can see it's actually quite a fancy website, quite nice. We can see a few little listings here from places like Forbes, from places like Impact 50. We can see down here inside big data, and of course we do have quite a lot to talk about down here. So to sum things up very simply, we can see what they do and some of the the fundamentals of the business down here. here. So quickly to have a quick read, we can see they work in latency and memory, and we can see here after the deep learning training phase, the resulting model typically requires huge amounts of processing and consumes lots of memory. And we can have a quick, even more detailed read down here if we do want to. So I would recommend looking this website up in your own time. But we can see here they also do dedicated hardware. It is optimized for cloud, which is good. You can get a bit of an understanding for the company by reading their page. If we look down a bit further where it says about the business and their leadership, we can see the amount of awards that they have won down here, and there are quite a few of them. We can have a quick look up here, have a quick read of some of the company's leaders' information. Basically, we have the CEO, which is called Michael Zimmerman. It has a link to his LinkedIn, which I have looked at down here, and it does require me to sign up. However, we are not going to do that if possible. So this quick article tells us everything that we need to know about Mr. Michael Zimmerman. This was an article, just for context by the way, which was written on the 1st of December, which talks about the appointment of Mr. Zimmerman as a new CEO for the company. Anyway, we can have a quick read down here and listen to a bit of his backstory. We can see that he has more than 20 years of experience working in machine learning and AI startups to accelerate product and go-to-market strategy in global markets. He has led several companies through successful product launches and customer acquisitions, as well as M&A transactions by global technology companies such as VMware, Mellanox, Nvidia, Intel and AWS. Some of those you may have heard of. So we can see a bit of the backstory about their new CEO down here. So as stands currently, the company's leadership team, in my opinion, again is quite solid. It's not as solid as that of Nndm because of course their leader has more experience and has worked in many different fields. However, that is not necessarily a bad thing. This company does still have somebody with a lot of experience at the helm, and this is a good thing. So as I have mentioned before with their acquisitions plan, that was Nndm, I think they have picked a very good company here, and I think it is going to help them to continue to grow Nndm as a business, and honestly I do think it was a step in the right direction. So looking at Nndm stock now, we can see why it has jumped today. I think it does make sense. I think it is actually a fantastic thing. So Nndm is up, hopefully we can keep it up going forwards. I would love to see that be the case. I think this is really something that we needed to see from a PR perspective. Again, a lot of the market has been quite volatile at the moment, but earlier yesterday we did see prices dip as low as the high $6 range, at which price I saw Nndm as an absolute steal. Tell me your thoughts down below there guys, I would love to hear them. Thank you for watching the video, I'll see you again in the next one, goodbye.